mean, people like at this part. Yeah, we all have HIV. Just that mine is positive and yours is negative.
Thank you.
So I came to know about HIV in primary school. So now I just knew I'm HIV positive, but I didn't know.
You knew you were HIV positive at that stage?
Yes, but I didn't understand fully
what it meant. How old were you?
10, 9. Before guys in a ring hell, I became a migraine. Migraine, I simulate a little while, but then it's similar affect the matlo, get transfer local marine. Ebe go ira di-test ga ka nne motho HIV positive. E le gore nako ele ha ke le ko primary. Ha ke tsene ke ba le 6. Ebe ke default. So be ke nna ke se di check up until nako ha ke tsena ko ke bala bo form 2.
So you went for years or
treatment.
Okay, and why was that?
I was being prayed for and declared that I was healed.
Okay. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to our latest GaonaLive conversation. Now, Bonolo's story is a very complex journey of a young lady who was born with HIV and struggled to accept her status, and this being exacerbated by the fact that her status was a taboo subject within the household. She takes us back to her turbulent childhood with an abusive stepfather and how this affected her mental health. Through overcoming these storms, she chose to become an HIV activist, encouraging her peers to adhere to their medication and live positively with HIV. Let's listen in. So today on GaonaLive Conversations, I'm joined by Bonolo, who is a 28-year-old mother of 2, living positively with HIV, born with HIV, right? Bonolo, hi, and thank you very much for joining me for this conversation. And thank you for being so selfless, to want to share your story, to create awareness.
Thank you.
So perhaps Arusimulehela, by going back into your childhood, right? Take me back there. What do you remember growing up? And how early, what are your earliest childhood memories? What do you remember? What kind of child were you? There was nothing Bonolo about you.
Yeah, just the name. Yeah. I remember this other moment. Barta go tlotla ko lapeng. Nako tene re sere le fridge. So ne raka nama then be hubisiwa. During the day then my baby ya peo. Then my mom went to work. Ne ke tswa school primary. My sister na tsena go junareng. So imagine nako ya tswa primary le ya junara ke re ba tswa maitsibo. Yeah. So ke nna o monna e hubisitswe ha ya tsengwa letswai. So we ke ja yotlhe full chicken.
And how old were you? You don't remember?
I think I was 25. Straight 5.
Hey, batho.
Ebe ke sutla hela we. Hey, ke tsena ka le mathata ba tsena. Ka le mathata hela. So hey, ha good.
Oh, mangwa kana o bitswa ke ra like what
na mangoma ya hore ana ra go jang. So ya no ba tlala my two kids. Re malona haul. The other moment ke rumile magwing na ja time tebe na kwa teng ebe ke a sutla lone ke tle ke tshwere pane go tseng mo building sing like ke tshwarela ya go sena sepe mo teng
o tsa one yana hela ba
no re
so we ntsha bodutu
ne ke rumile ke go khona na kwa teng ka re lwa hela no re lwa ka matlapa hela but no re sharp le khanya bo ngwana le go hloka go utlwa
o no ithatela dijo
ana ne ke le gona
and it seems like it was a happy home. Because le ha o bua wa mango you're not saying really ke tsena o tsore ka kubiwa mo lapeng ka you know what I mean, so it seems like it was. So please tell me, back then, you're 28, right? When was your first encounter with even just the word, right? Or the abbreviation, HIV, or just knowing HIV or AIDS? Like, what was, your first encounter with that? Was that something that you were aware of growing up?
We got to learn them at school, right? So I came to know about HIV in primary school. I think I was doing stand 4. So there's this subject, moral education. They include your HIV. So I got to learn how HIV is molanka thing and how people are treated around. Le mo gae gape re bona gore batho ba ba tshelang ka mogare ba treatwa yang. So nna mo go nna ne go ise go tle ke sepe. Ne ke bereka go nwa dipilisi ke no swa melemo but ke sa tlhaloganye. Up until nako nngwe batho ba health ba tle for blood donation. Yeah, ke re they do ke go buduang road shows ke.
Yes, ke tsena di road show ba tsama ba ira, the blood drive, blood donation drive, yeah.
So the other guy was like, sorry Mike, if you know you're HIV positive, don't come and donate. So now I just knew what I'm HIV positive, but I didn't know.
You knew you were HIV positive at that stage?
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't understand fully
what it meant. How old were you?
10, 9, I think.
Okay. Perhaps we'll go back to that moment where if you know you're HIV positive, don't come donate, right? So you mentioned the fact that, you already knew you were HIV positive. So we'll go back to that moment where blood donation drive. But when did you find out you were HIV positive? Because initially, of course, I just wanted to know, as a child, what was your understanding of HIV? But you already knew. So I want to find out how you got to know you were HIV. Is it something that you knew literally from the moment? So I think I want to go back to that moment as well. Yeah.
I think bagolo a kere dikgang tsena ga ba re tuba ka tsona. So I came to learn about HIV because patela yana. Because patela sa rona ne se dira is it fine if I mention the name?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, the Baylor. It's in Marine. Yeah. So it was controlled by English people. They're the ones who introduced this thing in Botswana. So imagine makgogo no ba go tshamekisa botshwere dibukanyana go tshwanetse go temo ke mogare mo ke CD4 count so wa bona but ko lapeng they never set me down gore Bonolo kana ya HIV positive wa bona. Yeah.
So even then now, so this is something so buletse matlhomo go sone wa go Baylor, children's clinic, and then gona le yone metshameko e ntseng yalo to try and make you aware of what HIV is. So lo nwa dipidisi hela how you dipidisi te go teketseng le gone a mo lapeng le nwa dipidisi le ba bangwe kante wena ko ena tla bo bidwa. I want you to give us a picture of how that worked.
Ne le nna hela ke nwa dipidisi nako ya teng. But ha nako ya teng e tšha ga nwa dipilisi a go itse gore go makgweng kwa ba re ha ona dipilisi wa go fola wa bona tota ya ne go sena kgang ntsi hela ba letse ne go te o nwa dipilisi go fola hela ba go ne go te ke flu ga ke tlogetse le bo mangwane so a dipilisi flu e tle e fole wa bona. So I never defaulted by then. Ne ke na la ke nwa dipilisi hela throughout le ke le mo baseng ba se ka tšha nako e tšha ke le mo baseng a go take my medication e be ke yona ke le mo baseng
se salang wena you adhered no itse gore gona nako ya dipilisi ne ke a dino ha o re o nwa dipilisi o nwa a di ke dipilisi tse dintsi a ke pilisi lengwe we nwa gangwe ka letsatsi. I also just want to get an idea of what that looked like.
kana ke gore megare e harologana wa bana mogare HIV harologane gona itlhala wena o nwa wa tlole go ngale 3 kana le 1 nako a teng a kere nna ne ke nwa le 2. I had 2 bottles ne di se di dona thata ke di pataganya 6 pakela 6 maitsibo. But hona na no a kere now we introduce 1 pill.
Exactly.
We know how 1 hell in a day.
Okay. So take me now to that moment where blood donation drive. So you still haven't had a conversation with your, let me say parents, right? Or your mother to say, Nari, you haven't had that conversation.
I say but ini lo ko morag ke le mo hospital. After
okay. So take me back to the blood donation drive now. You had started that.
All right. So I could know we were given 10 days juice.
How do you donate again?
So imagine who I know it's Bonolo, you're told you're HIV positive and why you're not to donate. So my girls were there, my back is an 11. Bonolo, let's go and donate. Tell the best kids. Guys, now I can donate. I'm HIV positive.
You said that to them.
Hela. Ba ntsha go no hola ne ke ba joina ino but.
O tshega le bona.
Ne ke sa itse gore ba tsang le gore go phoso ba. I carried on be ba tsama ba go donate then we ha ba tla ka di snacks tsa teng re share re jela. E be go tswela. And then go sekole ne ba sa tseng thata mokganya ya tega HIV go ne go primary. Ya neng di tsa go tšha go junareng. Junarana ke re go tsaya dikgang tsa poverty ya kere. Go jolo teng. We go na le this other group ya pact. Lo ne be ke join. Ke tso right. Be ke joina. That's when I no ke simola go na le sedile le ntsi anong ka HIV. Ke simola go itlhokomela go no home. When guys approached me, I could just tell them right there what kind I'm positive. Then when I was doing from 2, we started having problem ko lapeng ano. Gona le stepfather. This stepfather was very abusive. Ile ga ke tsane ile khanya gore na sa bereke na kwa teng anong a fila gore ga alwa. O tse gona tsang chance ya pride ya motho a rwa. So a re tlhaka ro tlhokola peng
a lebitsa.
Mo gongwe gape mama could take his sides. So gona ga gate be le gore go ntira ke ne suicidal. I tried 4 times trying to commit suicide. But before that, yeah, this guy started hitting us. Nakwate mama nale pregnant with our last born sister. The guidance and counselor teacher ba organize tsa gore nakwate I was sitting for Form 3 exams. How about we book you a session before tsana mo exam gore tlhaloganyo in ready for exam.
I itse gore you are coming from an abusive home.
Yeah. E be organizwa ke skwele then ke nna ke bana psychologist ke khona go kwala then ke khona go kwala. Be ke sinareng go sinare be gona wa se be ke simolla gona week. Tota before ke sinareng hela e be ke na le khanya migraine. Migraine ha simolla tsela le tlhogo hela yo but then is simolla affecta matlo be ke transfer lo ko marine. So ha ke tsena kwana I had dreams. Ha ke tsena kana ke go bontshwa kana ke kana tlhala ke le mamsebeletse ke sa itse
yeah na le calling
so ne ha ke le mo high emergency ane ke kare ke bona that guy the stepfather and dilola yana passing by my bed. Then na kwa teng I screamed ha ke tla ho mama ke ha se le gono ho ha go no he ba ntharenya motlogele ha wana ene le gone ka re wa understand the khantsena one e be go ira di test ga te kana mme motho HIV positive e le gore na kwele ha ke le ko primary ha ke tsene ke ba le 6 e be ke default ke default after being prayed for so be ke nna ke se di check up until na kwa ke tsena ko ke bala bo Form 2.
So you went for years or
treatment.
Okay, and why was that?
I was being prayed for and declared that I was healed.
Okay.
So when the doctors called my mom to come for checkup, she just told them that, you know what, my daughter is healed. She has been prayed for.
So were you going to church with your mother, Elena Huisang? So who declares that you've been healed?
The prophet.
The prophet. Not
church.
Necessarily. Okay. All right.
So go ga teng ha ke go find out gone gore mogaro santsontsele mo gone ke le mo spatela started blaming my mom le ene modimo ke fila gore hang kgathalle so that's when my mom ba khona ngwana ka kana gone ko bola ba spatela wa ha le na le ra go na le mathata. My father is late e bile ene o na ga na go za treatment but client tshwara re se re khone go ba ka khanyana but that's how you got the HIV. It was during birth. I think na kwa teng di khantsa tsa PMTC TNDC effective like honan.
Yeah.
I think na kwa teng ke ba se enrollile. Yeah. Then I began suicidal.
Okay, I was going to ask you how you reacted to that now. First of all, maybe let's sit a little bit in that conversation. I get Mama wa go bolela gore ngwana ka kana, this is what happened. This is at a point where you just found out again gore you are HIV positive. When no itse o hodile, you were declared healed. In this moment, I know that kana motho a modimo HIV positive, Mama ya shares with you how you got HIV, right? How do you respond to this? What are the feelings, you have in this moment?
Like I said, ke feel gore modimo ga ana sepele nna. Mama le ene, she could have just told me go ntlhentlheng hela. Kana ke re bana ha re golana re like a ke nantsa tsamayana for the check-up. I think that's the right time ke ba adila hatsi le nna mpolela gore Bonolo kana HIV ke this and ke haka o itse reng ka teng. Wa bona? But ke sa mo blame. Okay. Ke khona go bona thuso go Sabrana.
So how did you end up go Sabrana? What happened after that moment, finding out from Mama gore bo helano go Sabrana?
E be re bana lapi, right? Ha ke se ke di shejitswe anong ya ke re ke tswela le sekwele ga go kopane, my grades are dropping. Monolo ka no ntse le tsela wa re boxer. So e be ke simola go feel ga gona mosola. I'm HIV positive ke nna ngwana malapeng ke le one.
O na le HIV.
O tshelang ka mogare wa HIV. So ga gona mosola ka ha ke go gontshwa ke monna and my mama o tsa his sides. So let me just end my life. So I tried overdosing on my ARVs. They didn't work. I tried, I did a funeral program for myself. And then my sister by born.
This is before Uta DPDC, Uta overdose, the first time you attempted.
Overdosing is maswe. Bile ga ya ka ya go hospital go take a flashiu. Go le ga ya tlogela hell because ne ke santira sepe. Then my sister she's a nurse. Ba re go mona re ke khanya depression.
O bona program ka.
O mo re khanye teng go. E be ke le ka go bua le ene. E be le gore mama le ene ga re itse ka no feel gore re mo gaganya le monna ga right. Then nkgonne ba nreferela ko na tegela ko Moshopa. Moshopa ke tswa ke tlinikane ke sepatela. E be le gore doctor a teng kwa ke bara mo ha ntse na ke referral ya Sabrana hell. That's why I got to Sabrana.
After your first attempt to take your life?
No, all these attempts.
Okay, how else did you attempt to take your life?
I was in Gabani. Ne ke se ke le one malapeng. Tsatsi le gona le motho mo mo hirisa a le one le. So ne ke re ka ikeletse ka mora ga toilet la kwa. Ha go tshola metsi a tlhapa ka nto o mpone. That's when ba tla tsamagala mo go nna then.
O santse o tshwere mogala ga o isu.
Ne ke skip ga. The other thing ke one ne ke tsere thipa re ka itshega gone mo dimpeng.
Wa itshega ka nto no santse o re o tla itshega.
Look, kana ha ke tsanga re kana ke manyolo kana keng. Batho ba teng ba tla like se ke re ke a dira dikgang tsa teng.
Le bomang. The first time your sister found the program, the second time the neighbor o go bono santsoro wa
ke ikaletse. Ya tipena ke bone ke ngwanyana wa neighbor le ene go kwa. Wa neighbor ne le go gabana. Ha ke re ka ikaletse. The other one ke mo kopong. Where I'm based. Le ne ba tla rescue from atsa tipa mo gonna.
And how would you feel after, these rescues? Are you in that moment feeling grateful or you gratile go ira matata ka nti
tsenyeleditse na ba tsenyeleditse but gona na ke gona ke re go ha ba nna priest
how do you in retrospect but back then tota
ba nne man tshenyetsa monaneo tota. I just wanted to end my life and stay away from this horrible world.
So then you end up wako Sabrana, you are referred there because your sister now intervened as a nurse. So how bulelwa ka Sabrana gore kana no tshwantse gore o ya spatela, like what is your perception? Oh, yes. Because I also just want to get a little bit into, period. But unless I feel I need, some kind of mental health intervention. But they resist a bit because of the perception that we have.
Because I get born after 2 weeks it's kilo ko sa brana no. Okay no. Ra re ke hana and ke tlo go ipankanya. Total ke so sa brana ke ipona.
What kind of assistance did you get Go Sabrana? Because I think what you just said there is important because a lot of people resist so because of the stigma mental health but you know what I mean? So the fact that you are there and you are saying now after 2 weeks now I start feeling better. I feel like now I feel like myself. What was happening?
The good part I enjoy longo Sabrana was that neriswa saloni mahala na table tennis ne ke itse ko skeleng so ra go tshameka so ne ke sna matata le gona na ke mentla theng ko pile ke go itapolosa
well itapolosa hela ba itse
the sessions at the end they were very fruitful na ba dira gore rona ile na re really danga le khantsa bo decision bo go ruta go rapela yana gore what do you know about mental health hell so ne ke tla ke ithaopa le nna ke rena ke ithute kasi because they could give us the topic gore re akanyetse gore ka tsweleng re tlhaloganya ya
So how long then do you stay Mosabrana or Tswaling Mosabrana after what happened?
Mosabrana after a month. After Bonolo, she's mentally fit. She can go out.
Back to that environment.
Where the stepfather is hostile. Ya go gaban go mosadi mogolo. Ya no e be ke ya go mosadi mogolo. My mama na sna matale kgang ya teng. Do la ntla na le ha di counselor ra di meets di social worker di meets go Sabrana na gana go tla. Go ra ya ka ne ke go ba rona I feel like re la botsholo ba gagwe re matlala gore ba tla tshala mang. But e go behelong na tlhaloganya be ke mo bela go gabane. Ana go ra na kwa teng go register la di exam tsa form 5 be ke sa khone go di register. Be le gore ke nna kwa lapeng ke emela group ya mafomfo ya tlang the following year. I ke tsena tota ne ba mpotsa gona do you want to continue le mafomfo a se sengwe le teng or you want to start le mafomfo a tla batla. E be ke re no tle ke simola ngwa go tlanyala sentle le ngwaga. Then I started ha ke simolano ke ga go nna le di panic attacks especially how tsona di kgantsa exam. So a teacher ba tle ba ba nkgatela mone o tlo ga iswa ke bo monnao bangana go ba se ba tsena go UB wa bona. So ga teng be ke ne ke khona go relapse be ke iswa go psychologist go psychiatric clinic ya mo Marine. Be tla ba nkanta ebile gore nya ke boela nna yana.
Were you aware gore di panic attacks di khosiwa ke nkra gore in that moment o stress you like well and I don't have the right vocabulary for it because haki an expert and I don't even know what triggers a panic attack. But I think that is really what I'm trying to establish. Gore le panic attack, are you worried ka skolo kana ke stress sa gago sa botshelo sa kwa lapeng se se tlang? What is causing this panic attack?
It was caused by because I wasn't performing well. So I know gore when you're not performing well and what's na le bo monna o tlo feel gore yo dom kopo hela. And no na le teacher mo ngwana rata go bua khanya go se tseno wa bana so motho a bua khanya wa tsena so ke tlebe ke ileng ka kana ke tswa Sabrana ra re ke a tseno straight but then my HOD ba tla ba anisa ma teacher a teng ha ba tse bone ba nthuta re kana this is Bonolo I can't go in deep ka detail ya gago but a re motseng sente because o na le condition ena that's when ba simolano ba na available le ha ke ba kopa thuso ba nthusa until ke hits
okay
like I ke kwala final ne ba ntiretse a special room ne ke tlhakanela bana ba di special needs ke a go kwala exam teng because no sa batli ke go didimetse so ne go na le music nyano no lela go le soft nganela
no sa batli complete silence now and how then did you perform after your form 5 examinations?
It was not good but kwala pende we encouraging me gore Bonolo at least how go le form 5 then we'll see what to do next.
Exactly.
Ne ke sa performance ntle tota e bile gore tried dikgang tsa manala ke tsenya mkhonneng ke se khosengena dinala so I can se vera nkgonne how about ke le ka go kwala form 5 gape bana go ngo go tla jo sengwe ya nong ka gore ana mathata a botshelo a go tsegile then I tried but ha ise go roge sentle since ke ntse ke leka but ke
rightfully and I'm happy that you continue to attempt and go ga wa inela gore o ile hela jalo emma kana o hudugetse go ga bane because gona le seemo ka lapeng ha na go etsoletsana seemo se sentse se tsweletse ka tseleng jalo and does it affect you that okay I may be here isolated but my family, my mother, my other siblings are still living under those same circumstances. Like how did that unfold? You know what I mean? Now that we're now young and
no was train me no go train ke half because ba nna kwa teng go na le na thona sa no go right so cause mono na go gontsana le nkgonne bana e bile a hela ile gore o go bile nkgonne malapeng na kwa te mama a fila mara gore ba se da ke bana ba bidi malapeng bana so nkgonne ba simola tlhokomela ke my grandma until a go spelling sa nursing until a bereka gape yeah so ne ke tsogetse bonnake because the third born on tshela morago ke na boning duka bontsi because na se tsao le motonanyana so ona le incident ya rata go ibare kana monna mogolo na re betsa mo leng gore tlebe ke sia ka di basla tsa ga nna ke le tsaka re sala ko next door le ona le incident do gila ire gale ke yang e leng gore I'll never forget this guy na re lwantsha na mpetsana ile gore wa re wa ntlhaba ene my little sister msore ka loto I think she was 3 years 4 years
ka loto yana
ka loto ana papa stop so le ne ke feel gore o tlhoka le thuso la ga na go bua I think na kwa teng e tla
absolutely what is the situation currently? Is that still ongoing? Go changeile gracia mosa the abuse within the household
ay ko lape go monate ano gore the guy decided the guy then they divorced e ba phatlhalla gone ho le ko lapeng re boitse ko lapeng go monate gore
I love that and then at some point you decide to become an activist. I think I was trying to sort of get to what then empowered you to a point where after everything you've been through you decide I actually want to be an advocate for other people on behalf of other people living with HIV like I am, and you become an activist. So get us there. How then did you get to a point where you're like, this is what I'm going to do? I want to go public.
Well, I can say the peer educator ke kopana le bana ba bangwe they get to share their stories and get gore stories me di botoka gona le tsa batho ha kere and then
other kids ba gore le bona living with HIV
so ga ke ntse me le gore I met this guy e be ke sa molele status ya ba bana but then ke feel na kwa ta ke kopana le nne ke feel gore we're not going to do anything like bo sex and because ne la ntla re kopana like re ntse ha tsano one thing led to another so we get tota ntsantse re ntse le mo action ene before go simologa ke mona ke re tsenye condom e ba ntse no ska wa rena ke shapoela but ke tshaba and knowing gore go spatala le na certificate ka e shapo I can't infect him.
Okay.
Ebe ke ra no. Ebe re dira ha ba la stable. Ebe le gore nya nna be ke a lapeng. The guy never checked or like or anything. So be ke simola go nna wa re di go no ho. Ko la pele bana tara wa tlo ke sa batle go ba. O ba bolela re khankeng.
You at this point Luena why be la dlo gore kana go hale go ira betse kganyele
Then ebe ke bolela guy be ke tested then he came positive again. So I tried to reach to the guy maga kana ra I'm pregnant. Tara ebile ke a go report gore he didn't tell me gore you are HIV positive.
O mmoleletse at this point.
Ke mmoleletse go tlile pregnancy.
Okay.
Ebile ha ke tsene go pe mo ngwaneng o. So khanga teng ke ha ntse mala ntse stress but I confronted my medical doctor no a get na re testile a tla ke dipempiri tsa gore bone mme hala for sure se nka se gore ra haletsang ke gore chances of him being infected they are mine ka wena unless a tla le na tla tshela ka mogare so e be le gore wa block nya be le nna ke phatlalla up to this state. Though my parents tried to reach out go ga bone. This relationship akere only 2 days again. Yeah. So ha ke tswa marina. This baby be atla no ga tshwanele that guy ano kere hey. Wa go tla nna mathata. So ha ke ileng ka le khanya HIV kere wa ha go ra re go tsego hanke be ke boleletse re go ntlheng ke be go se iregala yana. Go ngwebile nke ba le present for mo ngwaneng. Rile ngwana re itsuri ra ngwana a itsore ke sala ka mogara ka. Let me just go public ke encourage banana go ntle gore ba gatele khanya self acceptance ba gatele khanya disclosing to partners or whoever around you gore di khantsi dingwe tse di ska di atla di iragala ba isore melomo.
Inspired by your own experience. And how has that been going? Let's talk about the first time you went public. Or share us through guys on social media? Is it through an interview? And what is the feedback now or the response ya nung hela on how soon o share yalo?
Ne ke share mo Facebook ona le this other lady bitwa Charlotte taking Vala Mental Foundation. I don't know if I got the name right. So na ilinka ne ke na le bo ke ha ke ntse ke le go Sabran ke nna ka bona this other lady then ba re dire mokgatlong jo ya mental health wa so be le gore gora o dira batho be go hela mo tsela di kgantsona tse di tlamelwa kere ne re le ka di sponsorship mo tsela mona go palega then e be go sa kgonagale so be ke kgona go na le chance ya go bona batho ba di NGO tsa mental health wa e be ke okay no a ke simolele ka Charlotte ke mo share story sa that's when I was post on Facebook. So go posting mo big thing go la pena ba itumeletse gore me at least ya no ka gore anong o bile story sa gago o tla nna le peace of mind ya no e bile le go spatela because ne ba itse gore ke ne ke le leader ke tla khona go reach out to bana ba teng. So mo motseng gone ke ha le gore ba re ka ntwana o tse gore tlhole ka mogara go yana wa ka ke gore kwa no na le mogara o le no siela
ba bona ka ranong ke go rata attention
ona le monong o kila commentana mo ne ke le mo khumbing ntse re go ra batla ba nyompologana ke ratho ba na le HIV yana wa bana eno ka re go twana yana
because you know when I na le HIV kana
na kwa ne ke tshwere picture pengana mo ko hoteleng kwa with Christ. So this other girl be ke na comfortable le na bana tara ke bona trend mo Facebook be ke yeah that's how I'm living but okay no le na a ntlotlela la go ditsa ka ga bone hela bana but okay no problem. So be go dira gore ke nna off ha ke nna off e be le gore wa o bolelela other girls gone ha le gore hey ska mona ira na to tshela le HIV wa bana so I don't keep gore from what the story she gave me ka motho tshela ka mogare kwa ga bone o bona ira sentle wa bona ha ke ma approach be le gore no wa confess wa tla intshwarela batho e le ka ntare ne le khanyana gore wa ta go ntsenyetsa tiro na kwa teng so stigma kwa ntle se stingalo.
I was going to ask you how bad is it, because of course, and I think let me not even say of course, because maybe perception now that we are informed, we know better. right? There's been so much advancement where HIV is concerned. You'd assume stigma has maybe in the 90s. What is the actual case on the ground? Especially for an activist, for somebody who's gone public with their status, sitting stigma are people casual about it now? Make HIV or is it still a thing?
No, ke manotonoto tota. Because bogologolo a kry itse gore go na le motho o tshelang HIV na sa share business na sa share copy wa bona ha so le itu hela kong but hona na we hela ka bona ke pelo yana.
So let's talk about your at the beginning you mentioned the fact that you have 2 kids, right? You were born with HIV, you were HIV positive, you have 2 kids, considering the advancement like a PMTCT, back then how to what is the status with your kids? Were you able to, adhere and do what needs to be done to ensure that, your kids are born HIV free?
Yeah. They're all HIV negative. And I enrolled for PMTCT program and it went really well.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. So right now, from a mental health perspective, of course not only were you dealing with the fact that, you're HIV positive, you didn't know initially, communication, from a mental health perspective, where are you? Is there anything that you're doing to cope, especially with the, mental health challenges that you've had before? And then, so Sabo Bedi, where's your relationship with your mother now, post Kanya? Mama, so I just need to know how you're doing.
Mentally, I'm so.
Yeah, and which is fair, we need to understand how some of these things are not destinations, it's a journey.
It's a journey.
Right?
So with the relationship, me and my mom were good because Lena Nanza Ali beats me like hotza treatment because I think I think she got the motivation from me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we are good. Rahakola nana ko ichile mezu ichile. Gele ichile. Madi please. So we're good.
Absolutely.
But the thing that I'm having problems with, I think if given chance, karenka monola ka the stepfather. I kitse gore gongwe nka fola mo moeng because I ka tla apologize mo go nna because ke feel gore do ka bontsi
it's okay.
Do ka bontsi ke dimisitse because ha ke small after during kgogontsho a teng ke ne ka I got tempted to have involvement to le batho ba banyetseng le bana ba banyetseng because somehow I needed a fatherly love. So that guy was giving me that love. Yeah, motsadi. Me ile kganyone gore we dating. Mo gongwe ke gone gore ana because he once saw me naked. And la ha ke bona monna gona ha gona that thing.
Your stepfather wants to see you naked.
Like mama, she didn't just sit him down for a while. So if you love I apologize or I'm sorry for everything that I did to my
So you naked as in intentionally or this person is violating you in that but we get ladies go bona ngwana wa sa apara.
La ntla nna kokometse na ba teng go le marega go tse marega go na le fifinyanana ke a sweleng ke ipankanya ke tina mme ne ke sa yela tlhoko gore e busegile yana hlela leitlo la go le tomame gono ho ha ke bua gono ho e ba isela go maragonyana go na le setlharenyana go marago sela go re mo ya mama thara na motho ke itse ile go na ro phakela marina wa check up so ano ke botse gono gore anong ha emelle to check outside gore I make you one net or what it is go no go bath the other time go bathroom ya rena is not loco by then. So I itse gore ke a tlhapa. It's just a bolele ba teng ra batla mo re batla go tlhatswa. And still mama again didn't attend to kganya teng. Malobana a tsile ko lapeng another stepfather. I panicked tota bile ka be ka siela go roomong e le kganya gore ga tena tsile go bona my little sisters ke bana ba gagwe na tsile go ba bona na ka ra ka mokoba.
Of course.
Botlhoko ba teng gape my mom was not around. Mo la re bana ba kwa lapeng. And knowing the danger that I've gone through ka ene ga
you don't feel safe.
Responsible.
You talk about hoping that, you know, Uka apologize for what he's done. How Mona right now do you feel he's remorseful? If you look at the ona le boikotla o bope o lemoga gore o le diretse phoso ka tsela e pehela
ha o bona le sepe tota ya no botena ka gore ana ha ke tsama mo tseleng ya no ke ne ka re ke bona ene bile gore ke a panikanyana.
Yeah. So you're still dealing with that trauma. Are you doing anything to, you know, manage that? Are you still undergoing counseling? You know, there's a point you know, psychologists, marina, jalo. So where are you with that right now? Are you doing anything to try and cope with this trauma? Because, you know, I think stories what's interesting about it and maybe also disheartening is that it seems like a story of a young lady born with HIV. But when you look at it, your biggest struggle wasn't HIV. Your biggest struggle was the fact that now you lived in such a turbulent environment where you were being abused. Then you said you made you struggle on the other side, you know, both with the HIV and skolo. You know, will feel like you compromised your future because of the kind of environment. So is it something that you are aware of, and is it something that, you know, you are consciously trying to take steps to try and face and deal with? But
lately I like you and never get reach out. So since get check the psychologist counselor around.
Also maybe le mama, talk to mama again, you know.
Yeah, it's like a moment. Because when I look at you like that guy. Mind the abuse
until it's heavy, and you know, I wish healing to you, not just you but your family, because how we are, you know, mama and her perceiving things like that. I think you know, you know, dealing and accepting exactly the point I get. But thank you very much for having this conversation. You know, I really wish you, you know, that you find healing, that at least you also yet again understand that healing is not a destination. It takes effort, it takes work, it takes constant, you know, intention to say, you know, from a, you know, mental health perspective, but also for you to be able to pour into other people while you're also going through yourself. I think that's really commendable. You know, as an activist, you know, thank you for doing that on behalf of the community. But also, I think my wish for you is that in all of this, don't forget yourself. Don't forget yourself. You need to pour into you and to be okay for you to be able to pour into other people.
Because I get it, they expect us to be strong.
That's it.
But don't get email. But feel like so they think
that's it. As we wrap up, you know, what is your advice to other young people living with HIV, you know, whether born with HIV or ba contractile HIV mo botshelong ba botsweletse, you know what I mean? Perhaps struggling, you know, and of course we acknowledge that you have your own struggles, but from a perspective here, somebody who's accepted the fact that they are HIV positive and you're living positively with it, what would you like to say to ba no gore gongwe ba sokola ba hish ba ipotsa dio tse dintsi motho struggling to accept?
Mo wa kere of tlhela irwa ke yone environment ya go gae gore re golela ha kae, because back then a tsantse ke leader, there were kids ba gore ba re na kana o itse re keng go lapeng ba gore ga ba mamogela ba bona ga phuthuloga bona dipilisi, so go ga teng e be go mogagela ko morago ha gongwe they end up on a defaulting a kere ga ba default ano go ra re ba simola go lwala kgantele ba tlhokafala ba bona. So advice ke yone la gore self motivation e hele ke yone tota o itse gore o batla mo botshelong, and you should know that HIV shouldn't limit you ba bona.
Exactly. And from community, what would you like to say to the community here at Salamone? Ke ho war bana gantsi motho hela default a sokodisiwa ke the environment, and this has been, you know, the case with you. So to the parents, to the community at large, ngwana ke wa haswa motsadi hela, ngwana ke wa rona rotlhe.
Kana gore community pala ke go tlhaloganya this part. Yeah, we all have HIV. Just that mine is positive and yours is negative.
Thank you.
We all have HIV. It's either you are infected and I'm affected. So imagine we ill treat that HIV positive person. What about your relative at home?
That's it.
Yeah, so we should stop discrimination.
Exactly the point. And nobody goes out of their way. HIV, you know what I mean? So it's not even something that anybody, you know, should perceive as nakana. Do you get what I'm saying? It's really not because you did anything or the next person did anything better, you know, but of course, you know, encouraging people, let's have a spirit of acceptance, a spirit of community, spirit of either infected or affected, like you say. Bonolo, aka Bosah, thank you very much for doing this. You know, I wish you all the best, even beyond your living with HIV. You know, I wish you a flourishing career. I wish you find yourself and you are able to, you know, live a full, purposeful life. You've already started on that, you know. You know, I wish you a happy, beautiful life with your kids. Into, you know, beautiful, healthy adults as well. So all the best, my little sister.
Thank you, sister.
All right. Thank you for doing this. And yeah, there you have it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and let's meet again same time next week. Now, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode. And don't forget to share, to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you'd also like to share your story, you can DM the GaonaLive or GaonaLive Conversations pages on Facebook, or just email GaonaLiveConversations@gmail.com. Catch you on the next episode.